Okay, well, thank you very much. Ito po, once again, nandito po si Nick Talk, the Real Talk with Nico. This is Nico Fabian. And of course, today is Wednesday. I would like to welcome each and every one of you dito po sa programa natin, Nick Talk, the Real Talk with Nico. Today is September 3 na po. Bukas is September 4. Alright, mayroon tayong mga messages and mga reactions coming from the Filipinos dito po sa Malaysia, be it in West Malaysia or East Malaysia. Ibig sabihin, pag sabi natin West Malaysia, ibig sabihin ang capital dito po ay ang Kuala Lumpur, and of which nandito tayo hanggang ngayon po. Nandito pa rin tayo. Next week pa tayo babalik doon po sa Sabah, East Malaysia. Ang Sabah, East Malaysia, ang capital ng Sabah is Kota Kinabalu City po. And this week, we have seen two very important hearings or meetings carried out by our very important politicians, elected politicians who's governing, managing the country of the Philippines. And that is the Senate and of course ang House of Representatives. Last Monday, there was a hearing, the second hearing of the Blue Ribbon Committee, chaired by Senator Rodante Marcoleta on the flood control management projects po. Very anomalous, hot issue ito po. Ang mga awarding and mga results ng numerous flood control projects po dyan sa Pilipinas. And the Monday session was attended by majority of the senators dyan po sa Pilipinas. And may mga reactions, observations, and disappointments ang mga tao dito po sa Malaysia, mga Filipinos po. And the same thing goes doon po sa TRICOM hearing which jumpstarted yesterday ang House of Representatives po. TRICOM ito po, and they are investigating, looking into also the same issue, the flood control projects in the Philippines nationwide ito po. Apparently, for your information, backgrounder lang po, the flood control projects in the Philippines, ilan ba yun 9,000 something, 9,600 something. And out of the 9,000 plus flood control projects po dyan po sa Philippines nationwide carried out, now some 6,200 6,021 projects are questionable. Ibig sabihin, some of the projects are ghost projects po. What do you mean by ghost project? It means on paper it is existing, but physically it is not, or they are not in existence. The problem there is that this ghost projects has already been paid by the government, and payment came from the taxpayers po. Taxpayers. Wala talagang proyekto, pero sa dokumento natapos na ang project po. Fully paid already po. And some of the projects also questionable because they are substandard. Substandard po. No? The materials used were not according to specifications. And some projects po declared already fully paid but uncompleted. And who have these projects endorsed and implemented? Based on the initial investigation, both coming from the Senate and the House of Representatives, and according to the contractor themselves, and of course government officials such as the Department of Public Works and Highways, some of them district engineers, as well as other government agencies like the Commission on Audit. They also confirm po, anomalous po, itong mga projects po, fully paid by the government. And it is for this reason that not only the Senate or Blue Ribbon Committee and the House of Representatives under the TRICOM committees po, they are investigating the issue now. And not only the Senate and the Congress, but also individual, sabihin natin, investigation carried out by government agencies like the Department of Public Works and Highways, as well as the Commission on Audit, as well as the team coming from the President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos from the Executive Department po. Excuse me. All right. And there will also be an investigation carried out by an independent body po, which karamihan ng mga Filipinos po, they prefer it should be carried out by an independent body because some lawmakers, congressmen, are allegedly, reportedly in cahoots with the contractors, in cahoots with the government officials, like the Department of Public Works and Highways po. And this is the reason why we have these big problems dyan po sa Pilipinas. And because of this corrupt activities carried out by irresponsible elected politicians, irresponsible greedy, sabihin natin government servants, irresponsible private sectors, like contractors po, no? Contractors. The Filipino community suffers po. Since 2022, ang mga proyekto po, hanggang ngayon po, iyon ang problema ngayon. Kawawa ang mga Filipinos. So, I am closely monitoring this situation po, and of course, I will make sure that kayo mga followers ko po dito sa TikTok program natin, I will make sure that you will be properly informed on the latest developments regarding this issue po, regarding this issue. Shoutout muna tayo kay Ruben Castillo, who is watching our program, Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico, dyan po sa Kota Kinabalu. And of course, mga iba pa who is watching itong programa natin daily ito po, no? I decided to do this program because I want ang mga kababayan ko po dito sa Malaysia, be it in Kuala Lumpur, be it in Sabah or elsewhere dito po sa Malaysia. Now, they will be, if not immediately informed, I might not be the one, the first one to break the news of what is happening sa Pilipinas, but definitely po, you will be informed of the break news po, no? Mga break news, mga things that are happening in the Philippines via or through this program natin, Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico. Shoutout din tayo kay Merilu Pentojo, Mayor Fabian, Marco Fabian, ang kaibigan natin po dyan, mga classmate natin sa Cebu, sa Pilipinas, sa Manila, dyan po sa Zamboanga City po. Kumusta kayo? I cannot read all your names dito sa programa natin po, dahil medyo mahaba ito. But anyway, sa lahat ninyo po who is watching itong program ngayon, I would like to say welcome. Salamat pagi, salamat patang, salamat malam. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to each and every one of you. Alright, start na tayo po ang mga issues that I want to share with you. Based on what I received, text messages and calls from the Filipino community dito sa Malaysia po, karamihan na saying, galit na ang mga tao. Galit na daw ang mga Filipino dito sa Malaysia, sa Kuala Lumpur, sa Sabah, sa Sarawak, or in other parts dito po sa Malaysia. And I was also made to understand, even ang mga overseas Filipino workers natin po, mga kababayan natin sa iba-ibang parte ng mundo po, who is aware of what is happening dyan sa Pilipinas, they are really disappointed, very angry, and very not happy of what is happening dyan sa Pilipinas, particularly itong mga anomalous flood control projects ng gobyerno po. Every now and then, just recently, no? Even ang Manila po, Quezon City, and other parts dyan po sa Manila, flooded po. Even sa Zamboanga City, a few days ago po, they experienced heavy downpour. Grabe din ang baha dyan sa Zamboanga City. And not only in Zamboanga City, but also in other parts sa Pilipinas. And it is all because of this anomalous projects, flood control projects being awarded and implemented by the administration or present administration. Sana lang po, we will be able to solve this problem na po. And the other thing that nagiging very controversial and hot issue ngayon po sa Pilipinas, ito ng 2026 budget. And Monday, Tuesday, hearings po. Again, I would like to inform, remind, repeat again po, na karamihan, if not all of the Filipinos are not happy with these developments dyan po sa Pilipinas when it comes to the flood control projects. Flood control projects po. Now, I have prepared some video clips para sa inyo po. And this, I will be sharing this video clips sa inyo, mga reports sa Pilipinas, latest news po. And so that you will be able to have a clear picture po. No? You will not be blurred on what I'm talking. What the topics natin ngayon po dito sa programa natin, Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico. Okay, to start with po, let me share with you itong news article coming from the ABS-CBN. It is a legit and mainstream media po dyan sa Pilipinas. The title or the heading of this news article that I'm going to read now is Marcos orders sweeping review of the Department of Public Works and Highway budget under the NEP or National Expenditure Program po. Hot issue ito po. Apart from the flood control projects, ito naman po ang budget 2026. Okay, let me read you this news article. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. has ordered a sweeping review of the Department of Public Works and Highways budget under the 2026 National Expenditure Program or NEP. According to Palace Press Officer Attorney Claire Castro, the President stressed the review must lead to necessary changes to guarantee transparency, accountability, and proper allocation of resources for the public. Marcos' order comes after Senator Sherwin Gatchalian, who chairs the Senate Finance Committee, flagged questionable entries in the proposed 2026 budget of the Department of Public Works and Highway and the National Expenditure Program during a committee hearing yesterday po or Tuesday po. Nakita ni Senator Sherwin Gatchalian po, mayroon naman questionable items dyan po sa Department of Public Works and Highway budget 2026. Among the red flags, Gatchalian cited were the projects with no station numbers, identical amounts, based on allocations, rounded figures, coded names, and even the reappearance of 2025 funded projects. Nandyan na naman po. Mayroon na naman na po, maski na yun included sa 2025 budget po, pasok na naman dito po sa 2026 budget. The Department of Public Works and Highways has been under intense scrutiny over supposed corruption in billions of pesos worth of flood control projects. Yun po. Yun po. That is the latest. Meron tayo kalokohan ito po. Kalokohan talaga ito po. No? Mabuti lang po ang mga senator natin ngayon po. They are very sharp. Open ang eyes talaga nila. Eyes and ears po. And they make sure po sentence by sentence, paragraph by paragraph, pages by pages po. Itong National Expenditure Program, they are scrutinizing it properly po. Yan ang ano natin. Yan ang sabihin natin na report na mayroon tayo po, no? Tungkol itong NEP. Anyway, I'll give you my first video clip po regarding itong issue po, no? Regarding itong issue, and I want you to hear this properly po, report coming from another mainstream media po. Ang report ng ANC. ANC. Sandali, ANC. Ano ba ito? I hope I got it right. Okay, nandito po. Let's listen to this. Hold on. Alright.
Yes, Carmina, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. has directed the Department of Budget and Management and DPWH Secretary Vince Dizon to conduct a sweeping review of the DPWH budget under the proposed 2026 National Expenditure Program. This was announced by Palace Press Officer Undersecretary Claire Castro in a press briefing Wednesday, September 3. Castro said Marcos Jr. emphasizes the review must lead to the necessary changes to guarantee transparency, accountability, and proper use of people's money. According to Castro, this will ensure that resources are directed toward infrastructure projects that genuinely serve and benefit Filipino people. The palace official added that the review will be swift to not cause delays in the passage of the budget and prevent a reenacted budget. The changes to be made in the DPWH budget will be through the issuance of a budget errata. Castro said the review will thoroughly study whether the DPWH budget indeed has alleged insertions and duplications that need to be removed. Meanwhile, Marcos Jr. urged local executives to ensure that all projects of both national and provincial governments are proper and expose irregularities, if any, amid controversies hounding flood control projects in the country. He made the remark as he administered the oath of office to the newly elected officers of the League of Provinces of the Philippines during a ceremony in Malacanang Palace Wednesday, September 3. Marcos Jr. also urged the local executives to further improve frontline services by utilizing modern technologies such as artificial intelligence and data analytics. The president also pressed the local leaders to serve with integrity and conscience. The LDP represents the country's 82 provincial governments, which fosters unity and strengthens local governance through policy collaboration and capacity building programs, according to the Presidential Communications Office. Back to you, Carmina.
Alright, yan po ang news report today dyan po sa Pilipinas po. Fresh na fresh ito po. And of course, everybody is watching, monitoring itong mga developments dyan po sa Pilipinas when we talk about ang 2026 budget po. Of course po, I totally agree. Do you agree also? I totally agree na ngayon we are now talking about scrutinizing itong mga budget for 2026. Different departments po. And na-notice na po ang senador natin po sa Finance Committee, ang chairman, si Senator Sherwin Gatchalian, may mga red flag na po, no? Red flag na po. So, huwag natin din kalimutan po, the Filipinos dito po sa Malaysia, be it sa west or sa east, and also the Filipinos, hindi lang po dito sa Malaysia, ang mga overseas Filipinos po, I suppose 100%, I believe they also want to know ano nangyari sa 2025 budget po, which has been identified or described by no less than the congressman of dyan po sa Davao, si Representative of Congressman Ungap, no? He said that this is the 2025 national budget is the worst corrupt national budget in the history of the Philippines. But no one from the Congress refuted ang description ni Representative Unga. Even when he repeated it during the TRICOM hearing yesterday po dyan po sa House of Representatives. wala talaga po. Maski ng former appropriation chairman ng House of Representatives, si Representative Saldi Ko, zip ang mouth niya po. No, you cannot hear any word from the former appropriation committee chairman ng House of Representatives. Ang mga tao po, we want to know what really happened sa 2025 budget now that we are talking already about the 2026 budget po. And unfortunately or luckily, mayroon na po, na-discover na po na may questionable items dyan po sa 2026 budget. And according to Senator Sherwin, na there are some items coming from the 2025 budget na insert na naman po dyan sa 2026 budget po. Kailangan ba talaga? Before we move forward, no? Kailangan po i-clear natin itong 2025 budget po. Paano? Ano nangyari mga insertions dyan po sa 2025 budget? What really happened? Sino nag-insert itong mga additional pera sa 2025 budget po? Sino po? No? Because apparently, pagdating sa BICAM, wala na silang record po. No? The small BICAM committee dyan po. So, kaya nga, mayroon mga congressmen and senators, they are now asking itong mga investigation being carried out dyan po sa Pilipinas, both by the Senate and the House of Representatives, including ang investigation team ng executive department po. No? They're asking to invite also the former House of Representative appropriate committee chairman, appropriation committee chairman si Representative Saldi Ko, and former finance committee chairman si former Senator Po, no? Senator Po, si Senator Po, yun silang dalawa po, no? So, I don't know kung they are going to invite me, but apparently, based on what transpired dyan po sa House of Representatives kahapon, mayroon mga congressmen, they do not agree inviting si Congressman Saldi Ko dyan po sa hearing nila po for reasons that he is also a congressman. Hindi na pwede magiging resource person po. And sabi po nga ni Representative Garin na walang personalan daw po. Dapat we have to move on na daw tayo po. Pero paano tayo mag-move on kung hindi pa tayo cleared sa 2025 budget po? For one, I totally believe that kailangan itong dalawang tao, former or si Representative Saldi Ko and former Senator Grace Po should come out and explain to the public what really happened dyan po sa 2025 national budget po, which has been described as the worst corrupt national budget in the history of the Philippines. Okay, more on the video clip on this issue po. I would like to share with you another video clip para at least you will malaman talaga ninyo po, no? You will have an idea of what is really happening dyan po sa Pilipinas. Ito po, let's listen to this. Si interviewed kay Senator Tito Soto po sa ANC. No? This is a video recording which I recorded from ANC interview kay Senator Tito Soto on the issue. Let's listen to this one.
Definitely a welcome order for the President to a sweep review of the proposed DPWH budget because obviously, well, I glanced at the portions of the DPCC hearing yesterday and indeed there are budget of the DPWH in 2025. So when they started, became 825 billion and then became 1.1 trillion. She could not give me a direct answer. But the thing is, we have to look back at what happened in the 2025. Let's move on and worry about the 2026 budget. But we have to find out what happened in the 2025 budget. That's my take on the matter.
Yeah, because I mean, if it's any clue, you have Congressman Marcy Teodoro already saying that projects that were flagged completed in 2025 still appear as an item in the 2026 budget. So paulit-ulit lang. Pero dun sa listahan, completed na, Senator Soto.
Oh, yes, those are the points that will lead the executive department to prosecute these people, prosecute the government officials who are involved, prosecute the contractors that are involved, even the politicians who inserted those projects.
Well,
They must answer for it.
Yeah, Senator, I'm just going to go to, obviously, you at the Senate, you guys were in the thick of things as well in the deliberations there yesterday. But yesterday at the House of Representatives, there was something else that happened. There was a move to call Congressman Zaldico to appear before their hearing there. There is a concern, Senator Soto, that eventually the trail will go cold because the appearance of Congressman Zaldico was hindered by his very own colleagues at the House of Representatives. So having said that, do you think that we will eventually really find whoever is accountable for this whole mess that we have right now?
Well, it's not even a matter of just calling. He's presently a member of the House of Representatives, so it's a matter of asking him to attend. He should attend, at the very least. Calling him as a resource person is really debatable because he's part of Congress. He is a congressman right now, so the best thing is that he be called to attend the hearing.
Well, his wasn't the only name that was mentioned, Senator Soto. Your former colleague, former Senator Grace Poe, was also mentioned in that motion by Congressman Eriza. Do you think the former senator should attend as a resource person?
Well, she's no longer a senator at this point. I cannot see a reason why she cannot attend if she's being invited by Congress as a resource person. The parliamentary ethics or parliamentary courtesy is no longer present because she's not a senator anymore.
Let's go back to...
Alright, ngayon po, narinig natin po si Senator Tito Soto po. Agreeable siya po na kailangan daw po si Representative Zaldico must come out and attend the meeting. As a congressman, incumbent congressman dyan po sa House of Representatives, as a resource person, debatable daw yun po. It's okay. Alright, debatable. But sabi ni Senator Tito Soto, ask him to attend in the meeting. Kasi kung nandun sa meeting po, now people can start asking questions or his reactions po. On the part of former Senator Grace Poe, the parliamentary courtesy extended to all the senators po, doesn't exist anymore in the case of former Senator Grace Poe because she's no longer a senator. She's no longer a senator po. So, inviting her in a hearing, that should be okay, sabi ni Senator Tito Soto. Remember, Senator Tito Soto has been the Senate President also, dyan po sa Pilipinas. Dyan po sa Pilipinas. Yan ang mga tao dito po sa Malaysia. We also want, Mr. President, please, but we know the executive, judiciary, and legislative po, separate entities ninyo po, Pero kung pwede lang po, try to whisper doon po sa kabila, dyan sa House of Representatives, why don't you invite also si Zaldico and grace po sa hearing ninyo. Ha? For the sake of the Filipinos who really want to know ano talaga nangyari sa 2025 budget, ano talaga nangyari sa mga insertions, particularly itong insertions related to the flood control programs dyan sa Pilipinas since 2022 hanggang 2025. Alright? So, okay. Another footage that I'm going to share with you is ito po. Sandali ha. Ito po. Sandali. Parang ano tayo? 204 ba ito? Yeah, 204. Nandito po, continuation ni Senator Tito Soto.
You ordered by the President previously, Senator Soto, the President said that he will not sign the GAA if it is not aligned with the NEP. But based on the revelations of your colleague, your friend, Senator Ping Lacson, it seems as if these insertions are already baked into the NEP. So what do you do then?
No, when the President said that, he did not have any knowledge that there were intricacies in the way that the PWH budget was presented. And as a matter of fact, he was more or less on the issue of ghost projects in the flood control projects. No? So, as far as he was concerned, and this is my opinion, as far as he was concerned, he knows or he thinks that the budget that he presented as the NEP did not contain these issues. Libo-libo yan eh. I don't think he will look at it one by one per item or per page. So when he finds out now that these items are present which should not be included in the NEP, for sure, surely he will not mind the Congress or the House of the Senate itself removing these items. And as a matter of fact, there is a sweeping order to review because it does not align with what he thinks the NEP is. You see, he thought that the NEP was clean when he presented it to Congress. But seeing this now and finding out what happened in 2025, again, there should be there should be a real precise look into not only the 2025 but the 2026 proposed budget.
As you said.
Alright, yun po ang segment ni Senator Tito Soto. So from the Senate, punta na naman tayo po dyan sa House of Representatives. Ang mga issues po doon dyan sa House of Representatives. Alright? Okay. Sana. Alright. Sa House of Representatives, punta tayo tungkol sa kahapon, yung hearing nila ng TRICOM hearing po. And I will share with you itong news report coming from the Philstar, another mainstream media dyan po sa Pilipinas. And the heading of this news article is Conflict Disclosure in House Flood Control Probe Hinge on Lawmakers' Honesty. Alright? So nandito po, listen to this or the details of this news article. The House of Infrastructure Committee will require members of its 3 sub-panels to submit short statement declaring they had no links or conflict of interest in the flood control projects under investigation po. Yung nag-umpisa pa lang ang session kahapon po, ito na ang issue agad po. Kailangan po ang mga members, mga congressmen po, they have to disclose na wala silang, sabihin natin, wala silang conflict of interest or may link sila sa mga proyekto, sa mga contractor po ng involved sa flood control projects. The move was made by Representative Chel Diokno, who is the Akbayan Party List representative, following reports that some lawmakers maintain ties with government contractors involved in potentially anomalous or ghost projects. It was then adopted by the Joint Committee. It was adopted, agreed. The effectiveness of the requirement, however, hinges on whether the Joint Committee or the House will verify or take action on this disclosure. Otherwise, the disclosure could remain as paperwork that the lawmakers are bound to and accepted without question unless later disputed or disapproved. They have to check itong mga declaration ng mga congressmen na wala silang interest of conflict, hindi sila connected sa mga contractors, or hindi sila in cahoots with officials coming from the Department of Public Works and Highways or any other government agencies that plays part sa awarding implementation of the questionable flood control projects. According to Representative Terry Ridon, Bicol Saro, party list, who chairs the House Infra Committee, the panel will simply take their word for it. He clarified, however, that lawmakers would be bound by their notarized statements and if found to have lied about conflicts of interest, they could face perjury charges. I think you have to go to a notary public for that also. Basically, it binds them. It's not just a simple document that they sign, he said. So, kailangan yun po properly notarized. Properly notarized po, no? So, let's continue with the report. He clarified, however, that the lawmakers would be bound for their notarized statements and if found to have lied about the conflict of interest, they could face perjury charges. I think you have to go to the notary public for that also. Basically, it binds. Basically, it binds you. And you will be responsible. You will be responsible of the statement mentioned dyan po sa declaration ninyo po ng mga congressmen. It is, however, worth noting that Diokno's motion specifically asks for the full disclosure of financial, business, or pecuniary interests that may directly or indirectly affected by any investigation into the government past or present flood control projects. As about this, Ridon said he would have to review the motion again. But if doubts emerge over a lawmaker's disclosure, Ridon said the case could be brought before the Ethics Committee. Ethics Committee po. So, yon po. Yon ang ano natin. Alright. Now, this time around, let me share with you some video clips po during the TRICOM hearing yesterday, and there was an interview dyan po sa mainstream media, television dyan po sa Manila, si also very respectable, known broadcaster po, public service po, si Karen Davila. And she interviewed si Representative or Congressman Edgar Erice yesterday po. Or is it this morning? Yeah. Nandito po ang interview. Let's listen to this interview. Hold on, Hold on. All right. And this, you will have an idea of what is happening or what happened dyan po sa interview ni Karen Davila.
So you made a motion to invite Chairman Zaldico, the former Appropriations Committee Chair, and Senator Grace Poe, who was the former Finance Committee Chair, to answer questions on the 2025 budget. Ang unang tanong ko, pumayag ba ang mga kasamahan niyo na maimbitahan si Zaldico?
Nag-object si Congressman Abante. Tinatanong niya the purpose sinabi ko naman yung purpose, pero nagkagulo, so na-suspend, tapos pinag-usapan nila ako na pwede i-defer muna yung aking motion para patuloy lang yung mga nandun na mga witnesses. So, ang sinasabi nila, ang investigation is dun sa flood control, hindi naman dun sa budget. Sinasabi ko, sige, I will agree na i-defer yung aking motion, pero and I will ask my staff to provide me with a list of projects na nandun yung 108 billion upang patunayan ko na meron talaga mga flood control programs sa 108 billion na insertion sa 2025. Pero hindi lang yan yung purpose. No, I still want to know kasi yung 2024 budget, 400 billion na get yung insertions. Sa 2023, 200 plus. Itong 2025, 300 plus. So 1 trillion lang ito. So, ang gusto ko mangyari, makikita ko paano nila, bakit nila napapalitan na insert at saan ang gagaling itong mga programa.
Alright, na yun po, narinig niyo po a portion of the interview of Karen Davila kay Representative Edgar Erice po, no? On the issue of this flood control project. And nandito, another footage po, the same person po talking. And let's listen to this video clip. Continuation po, part of the interview of Karen Davila dyan po sa Pilipinas. Let's listen to this. Hold on, ha? Alright, nandito po.
That we invite Senator Po and Congressman to clarify the matter. Sino yung naglagay? Sino yung proponents? Sila yung nagproseso nito. I'm sure, hindi naman nila yung proseso nito kung walang mga documents. Hindi naman nila ito pipimbahan kung walang mga documents.
Okay. Now, Representative Erice, are you hopeful? Because it seems to me that your colleagues are protecting Saldico. It doesn't seem like they want to know the truth. Kauumpisa pa lang, dinotion nyo na. Sinabihan na kayo, ba't pa i-invite? Sinabi ni Garin, let's not make it about personalities. Which, by the way, ang nagnanakaw personalities. So, ang tanong ko, what kind of hearing do you expect? Ngayon pa lang, tinatakpan na ng mga kasamahan nyo. Ayaw na mag-invite even as resource persons.
Kaya nga po, kami sa minority, meron na po kami position at least dapat siguro. We should let the President na yung kanyang independent commission, siya yung mag-imbestiga. Si Presidente naman ang nagsimula nito, dapat hayaan natin siya, tulungan natin siya na tapusin ito.
Okay, now are you hopeful with the committee chairman, Terry Redon? Because when I interviewed Terry Redon on Head Start, he was already defending Saldico. He said Saldico divested from SunWest, etc., etc. There's no proof. So for a committee chairman to already be defending another colleague who could be a resource person, what do you make of that hearing?
Well, ayaw ay prejudge kung ano man yung kanilang agenda. Basta kami sa minority, we have our own agenda. We will be impartial and will be uncompromising asking questions. So, kasi kung ipiprejudge ko, parang hindi na rin ako fair. So, basta meron tayong motion, invite them, palagay ko yun ang dapat na gawin. Ang tingin ko bilang isang sitting congressman, is the responsibility of Congressman Saldico to appear or to attend the meeting at least and clarify all those matters. Hindi lang yung integrity and credibility ng House ang nakataya dito.
Okay, but
Alright, narinig niyo po na si Representative Edgar Erice. He also wants Saldico, Representative Saldico, ang colleague niya po, to also come out and explain, clarify ang mga issues regarding itong 2025 budget po at saka yung mga conflict of interest, si Saldico, reportedly, sabihin natin, involved sa flood control projects dyan po sa Pilipinas. Alright, so tuloy natin, and this time around, I will share with you another video clip po. And this time around, na vocal po, well-respected, experienced politician dyan po sa Pilipinas. Now, independent minority member, independent siya. He claims he's independent congressman dyan po sa minority group. And I'm referring to Toby Tiangco po. Na, let's listen to the interview. Ang interview ni Toby Tiangco po sa ANC. ANC ito po, no? Sa ANC. And this morning ito po. And let's listen to the interview po.
Welcome to the program.
Yes, Carmina. Good noon.
All right, so yesterday we were watching things very closely. You came this close. The committee came this close to bringing Saldico in to appear. What happened when it was suspended? Because when you guys came back upon resumption, the motion of Congressman Erice, he himself deferred. So what happened then during the suspension, Congressman?
Ay, hindi ko alam bakit, sorry Carmina, hindi ko na alam why he agreed to defer. Pero ang nangyayari nun, di ba sa motion by Congressman Erice, no? Kaya naman, siguro, paliwanag lang na natin bakit gusto imbitahan ni Congressman Erice si Congressman Saldico. Kasi nung tinanong niya si Secretary Puno, alam niyo ba, yung insertions doon sa BICAM, sabi ni Secretary Punoan hindi at Kongreso lang ang nakakaalam. So, ang ginawa ni Congressman Erice, dahil Kongreso lang ang nakakaalam at ang chairman ng Committee on Appropriations noong tinalakay ang 2025 budget ay si Congressman Saldico. So, he made a motion na imbitahin si Congressman Saldico. Then, tumutol si Congressman Benny Abante. So, dapat yung pinagputuhan na lang, no? So, hindi umabot dun sa putuhan. So, hindi ko alam why he deferred his motion. But I made a manifestation. Sinabi ko na ito ang problema. Kasi ang parang katwiran nila, kaya hindi pa pwede ipatawag si Congressman Saldico is because congressman siya. Hindi siya pa pwede maging resource person out of courtesy. At hindi siya, ibig sabihin, hindi siya pwedeng panumpay na siya magsasabi ng katotohanan. Voluntaryo ang kanyang pagpunta doon. Kaya sinabi ko na nga, nag-manifest ako, na saan pupunta itong investigasyon na to, diba? Kasi in the first place, hindi ako pabor na kami mag-imbestiga sa sarili namin. Ngayon, napatunayan na talagang walang pupuntahan kasi tuwing may iimbitahan na congressman, hindi naman siya pwedeng gawing resource person. So, ibig sabihin, protektado ang congressman sa investigasyon na to. Yun ang simple explanation itong bagay na to.
But he could very well just appear, being that he's a member of Congress. Pero yun nga, voluntary. Kung ayaw niya, ayaw niya.
Ayaw niya, tsaka hindi under oath. Hindi under oath, diba? So, paano magiging, yung sinabi lang, walang sasantuhin kahit sino. Yun na nga, yun ang pinakamaliwanag na example na walang pupuntahan itong hearing na to. Talagang, lokohan lang to, para siguro ma-divert yung issue, maghanap ng ibang may kasalanan, para yung pinakamalaking may kasalanan ay hindi na mapanagot, di ba? Kasi, second, ako na yung nagsabi, di ba? Hinamon nila una nagsalita si Mayor Magalo, sabi niya, ganito, 20% sa Committee on Appropriation. Ang daming congressman nagsabi no na, sige, sabihin mo ganito, imbitahan ka namin. Si Congressman Abante, sinabi pa, wag mo kami lahatin. Sabihin mo kung sino yan. Pag inimbita ka namin, diba, kahapon dinare ko na imbitahan nila. Anong mga dahilan na? Hindi, madami pa tayong kailangan talakayin. Iimbitahan namin, hindi makapagbigay ng petsa. Hindi ba dapat kung sino yung sinasabi at tinuturo na pinakamalaki ang nakuha doon sa proyekto, dapat malaman na namin kaagad, di ba? Eh bakit ayaw nilang tawagin si Mayor Magalong, di ba?
So, kung kayo po ang tatanungin, sino bang taga-kumpas ng lahat ng ito, Congressman Tiangco?
Hindi ko lang sa kanya. Kasi we exercise oversight functions on the executive department. Number two, in the exercise of our duty, ang pinakamataas nun para sa akin, hindi namin nakasulat yung delikadesa Diba? Ibig sabihin, o sige, sabihin na natin for the sake of argument, may katungkulan kaming magawa ng oversight. Pero kung mapapatunayan naman na hindi naman magagawa yan impartially, diba dapat sabihin natin iba na lang? Tsaka kung sensitive lang kami doon sa hinaing ng tao, hindi ko alam kung di ba sila nag-iikot, nakikipag-usap ng ibang tao. Yun naman ang sentimento ng tao, di ba? Galit sa congressman, tapos kami pa mag-imbestiga doon sa sarili namin. Hindi ba namin lalong ginagalit yung tao?
Well, the President, Congressman Tiangco, already ordered a sweeping review of the DPWH budget for 2026. And the agency's tasked to execute this, DPWH under Secretary Vince Dizon and the DBM. So once they go through with the spending plan for 2026, Congressman, what do you think they'll find?
Okay, I'm in favor of that, no? I'm in favor of that. Kasi talaga naman ganun yung proseso, di ba? Minsan, hindi talaga nalalagay yung priority doon sa isang lugar. Kasi normally, ganito gagawin, di ba? Carmina. May wish list yan, di ba? Ulitin ko, yung hindi kaya ipagawa ng lokal, ang aspiration, what's aspiration in Tagalog? Yung hangarin ng bawat congressman is mahihi doon sa national budget. Okay? So, mag-ilista ka ng mga proyekto. Madami yan. Kahit sinabing, o ganito yung NEP mo, subukan mo. You try to get more projects for your district. Tapos, babalik yan. Pag lumabas yung NEP, makikita mo kung ano yung mga nasama, ano yung hindi. So, ang gagawin, ang ginagawa ko, kakausapin ko yung district engineer. Ito ba mga kailangan, ito ba hindi. So, katulad kami, nag-meeting kami last week ng district engineer, base sa aming pag-uusap, kasama ng local government unit, may mga dapat huwag muna ipagawa, meron naman dapat ipagawa. So, yung district engineer namin, nagsubmit na siya ng errata galing doon sa department. Ibig sabihin, hindi kami yung naghihingi ng amendments kung hindi sila. Pero the amendment is within the budget, ha? Ibig sabihin, kung 100 pesos yun, meron ka lang ililipat, pero hindi itataas yun. So, gumawa na siya ng errata. So, mas mabuting ma-review yan, diba? Mas mabuti ma-review ng DPWH, mas mabuti ma-review ng DBM ulit, para tingnan talaga kung kailangan yung proyekto o hindi.
Kasi meron...
Alright, yun po. Yun ang segment, ang answers ng mga questions ni Representative Toby Tiangco, no? Tiangco po, during the interview dyan po sa ANC. And yes, parehas din yun po, the way ang mga Filipinos are thinking dito po sa Malaysia, no? Walang mangyari po sa mga investigation ngayon, ongoing investigation po, kung si Representative Saldico at saka mga iba pang mga kongresista po na involved dyan po sa mga lawmakers, involved dyan po sa flood control projects po, anomalous flood control projects po will not come out and clarify, explain to the public what really happened. Hindi lang po sa flood control projects but also sa national budget natin po, especially yon national budget ng 2025 which Representative Saldico is deeply involved, played a very important role dyan po sa 2025 national budget po, budget po. And we also agree with Representative Toby Tiangco na why you don't want to immediately invite kay Davao Baguio City Mayor Baguio City Mayor, si Ben Magalong, no? Sa investigation po. Because he's the one who said mayroon siyang mga ebidensya. Mayroon siyang maraming alam tungkol itong flood control projects po, anomalous flood control projects po, not only sa lugar niya po, sa Baguio City, but also sa iba-ibang parte, dyan po sa Pilipinas. And yes, maganda tayo, narinig tayo po na even ang presidente is considering si Mayor Benji Magalong to be part of the investigation commission po, to be established to investigate itong flood control project. Ngayon is very noisy, very hot issue po sa Pilipinas po. So, walang mangyari sa Congress po. Obviously, nakita namin, dito sa Sabah, mga Filipinos, nakita namin, I'm sorry to say that thing, no? Na parang they're protecting ang fellow colleagues nila po dyan sa Kongreso, itong mga opisyales ng TRICOM po. Ng TRICOM. So let's be open. Bahala na, sabi ninyo po, maskin sino po, basta may kasalanan, wala kaming problema. We are going to investigate it. Pero ngayon, what is happening? Parang you are protecting, you are hiding your own colleagues, dyan po sa Kongreso. So sana wag naman ganyan. Wag naman ganyan po. So before we conclude this video clip ngayon po, let me show you another video clip. And this time around po, this time around is about sana ba tayo? Si Secretary Vince Dizon, also on the issue of flood control projects. Let's listen to this report.
Hi, Carmina. Good afternoon. Department of Public Works and Highways, or DPWH, Secretary Vince Dizon ordered the suspension of biddings of all local projects funded by the government. This was announced by Dizon during the turnover ceremony of the Department of Transportation on Wednesday in San Juan City. Meanwhile, Dizon said foreign assisted projects will continue. Meanwhile, foreign funded projects will continue since they are guarded by advisors and foreign funders, Dizon said. According to Dizon, he is giving a maximum of 2 weeks for the agency to put safeguards to this bidding process. He hopes to announce by Monday the safeguards. Also on Wednesday, Dizon said he already wrote a letter addressed to the Department of Justice requesting for a lookout bulletin order against contractors of government projects that might attempt to flee the country amidst its ongoing investigation into ghost projects and corruption in government. Dizon read the list of contractors and DPWH officials that need to be included in the DOJ and Bureau of Immigration lookout bulletin order, or ILBO. Among those recommended to be included in the lookout bulletin are OIC Assistant Regional Director Henry Alcantara, Cesar Discaya and Pacifico Discaya, President and AMO of Alpha and Omega General Contractor and Development Corporation, and other government officials and contractors. Bureau of Immigration spokesperson Dana Sandoval said they are waiting for the order of the Department of Justice for them to implement a lookout bulletin. Secretary Dizon said the request is part of the agency's trying to hold those accountable. The newly appointed secretary earlier said he would clean up and reorganize the agency within 60 days.
Alright, dyan po ang announcement, ang segment ni newly appointed Department of Public Works and Highways Secretary, si Vince Dizon. Formerly, he's the Transport Secretary, but because of this hua-hua dyan po sa Department of Public Works and Highway, si President Marcos transferred him from the Transport Department, transferred him to dyan po sa Public Works and Highways. And yan po, narinig natin na nag-request na siya pa yun na lookout bulletin sa mga individuals, personalities involved dito po sa anomalya ng flood control projects dyan sa Pilipinas po. In other words, immigration officials in any ports, be it seaport or aeroplano po, no? Sa airports, now the immigration department will be on the lookout of these people, and they will not be allowed to leave the country po, no? Leave the country until there will be a clearance coming from the authorities concerned. So, before I will conclude itong programa natin, medyo mahaba konti ngayon, I would like to inform also ang mga Filipinos, no? Especially those are concerned about the whereabouts, about the health and updates of Tatay Digong po, no? Now, for your information, everything is set already para sa September 23rd. Hearing of charges of Tatay Digong po, dyan po sa International Criminal Court, no? Sa The Hague. And I was made to understand, and it was published or announced dyan po sa social media by no other than a supporter of the Dutertes, si Ka Eric. Ka Eric, wherein he announced that there will be a gathering of supporters on Friday, September 5, dyan po sa Pilipinas. Sa Friday yun po, no? Sa Manila, it will be held in Ezra Shrine from 11 a.m. Starting at 11 a.m. Saka mayroon din sila sa 6 p.m. And of course, sabi niya po na it will be nationwide. He's calling the Filipinos who are not happy with what is happening ngayon po dyan sa Pilipinas, especially itong issue ng flood control projects and of course the 2026-2025 national budget po, to come out and show our disappointments on what is happening ngayon sa Pilipinas po come Friday, September 25. So, being an organizer, one of the organizers, si Ka Eric is inviting sa atin mga Filipinos po who are very concerned of the present and future of our country po, no? Of our country. So he is extending the invitation to all the Filipinos and those who are interested to join this gathering sa February or sa Friday, September 5th, September 5. So, siguro with this, hanggang dito na lang muna ang Nick Talk, Daily Talk with Nico. So, I hope, maski paano po, I managed to give you whatever news information you deserve today. And maski paano din po, I hope I managed to entertain you for the past, maybe, I don't know how many, more than 1 hour, slightly over 1 hour program natin dito po. Ang Nick Talk, Daily Talk with Nico. Those who are celebrating their birthday today, I would like to say happy birthday to all of you. And of course, same greetings going to those who are celebrating whatever special occasions they are celebrating today. To my cousin, si Rans Apolinario, who is also celebrating his birthday today, I would like to say all the best, happy birthday to you, and God bless you. Good health. So with this, once again, Nico Fabian would like to say thank you very much for making me a part of your day today. Malaysia, Sabah, the Philippines, God bless us all. I love you and thank you very much. I'll see you in my next episode. Bye.